yeah. Apply pressure from every angle, you feel me? Yeah, you know, attack more. Never fold, man. Nah, never fold, never quit, yeah. Keep going, like, yeah.
Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they finna feel me. I try to keep it cool, but niggas always act a fool. So now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they finna feel me. I try to keep it cool, but niggas always act a fool. So now they gotta,
yeah, I smoke that thing. Tryna get M's in the bank, fuck what they think. Knock a nigga whole mouth out. Come side me, top break, throw hands like Tank. Knock it out the park like Hank. I've been doing them planks, what you got on my drink? I've been trying to keep my sane. Humanity so lame, fuck you and your gang. Speaking on the dead man's name.
Roll Tide full of pride, roll tide full of pride, here we go. Roll Tide full of pride, baby, roll tide full of pride, here we go. Down at the levee, we going fishing at the levee. Roll Tide, baby, roll damn tide, huh? Ain't nothing rolling but the damn tide, for sure, huh? For sure. Yeah, man, you know, scrimmage two, it went down, it really went down. I'm gonna get into articles, get into nuggets, which players stood out, which players have been making a name for themselves, etc., etc., etc. You understand? I wouldn't say shocking news, but some interesting news as well. Word is the QBs may have struggled in this scrimmage. Word is once again the QBs may have struggled in this scrimmage, baby. No cap. But I'm gonna dive into it and get right into it. Before I begin, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with any and everybody you know for sure. Huh? Why not support the channel? Support the grind. Takes less than 1 second, man. You come in the chat, like it up, fire the chat up as well, Holmes. Let's get it. I repeat, let's get it. Roll Tide full of pride. Roll damn tide. Before I even dive into it, we got to speak on DeBoer. I'm gonna get into the DeBoer presser as well, what he had to say about the second scrimmage and all that. But DeBoer, huh? Shout out DeBoer, man. I think DeBoer may really be locked in. I told y'all before, you see it if you see DeBoer, K-Dog, he done lost some weight, even got a little tighten up a little bit and all that. I told you, DeBoer, I told you, K-Dog. Listen to me, man. Listen to me, huh? For sure. Roll Tide. Uh-huh. Yeah. Let's go, K-Dog. Lock in. But DeBoer seems like he's on a totally different level. He's made a drastic change for real. No cap. Ain't the same old DeBoer who people used to talk about and clown on the sidelines. But major respect for him. Shedding them damn pounds in the boogie downtown, man. Shout out, clap it up for DeBoer K-Dog for that. No cap. Here we go. That man put that work in, huh? With that weight loss and all that. For real. Yeah, DeBoer, he understands. He definitely understands how big of a year this is for him. Make it, prove it or lose it year, basically. Will Bama elevate? Will they progress? Will they be better or will they regress? But no room for regression for real, right? Right. People are expecting big things from Kalen DeBoer and staff and his team. But so far, great news, especially certain individuals stepping up, certain individuals from the portal, younger players, huh? Stepping up, putting their real work in. Holmes, no cap. And we knew it was definitely a major chance for certain young individuals or freshmen, sophomores, etc., to step up and take that next leap. And what do you know? It's happening right now. We're gonna dive into it for real. We're gonna dive into it for real. We're gonna start with an article and all that. Then we're gonna dive into the Kalen DeBoer presser. But we gotta break it all down. We gotta break it all down for sure. For real. We go. So we're going to talk about the running back room a little bit and all that. One Alabama freshman running back remains limited. while another is turning heads this spring. What do I always say? If you're not available, it doesn't matter. It's just chatter. I don't care how talented you are, right? Boom. If you're not helping your team on the field, you're not getting reps. That's a disadvantage for anyone. I don't care who you are, right? EJ Cruell, whoever, London Simmons, whoever. It affects you. Now, we still got summer ball coming up, fall, of course. But at the end of the day, players want to get as many reps as they can for sure. You understand? For sure. You know, that's just what it is. That's the name of the game. You out for a long period of time, guess what? Somebody can come in and take your damn spot. Period. Roll tide, full of pride. And may the best man win heavy. Here we go. Hold up, switch it up. There you go. Here we go. Let's break it down in the boogie down town. Alabama held its second spring scrimmage on Friday afternoon, and true freshman running back EJ Cruell continues to be limited by a soft tissue injury. My point exactly. High expectations for a player like EJ Cruell, but if he's on the field, what does it matter? Other guys will step up. Other guys will fill in homes. Period. Heavy, no cap. That's the name of the game. That's the way of the game. So yes, EJ Cruell is what? Very talented. Very talented, may even have a real chance to start or get a lot of reps. But if he's hurt, you got guys back there hungry. Guys back there ready to eat, homes and all that. Period. Hands down, man, down. You know, you got Daniel Hill back there, AK Deer back there, Trayshawn back there, heavy homie Kevin Riley back there. Ain't nobody laying down. Ain't nobody shutting it down, dog. Because EJ Correll is dealing with a soft tissue injury. You know, hopefully he recovers quickly and swiftly. Of course, prayers to him. But this is a competition, right? This is a battle, man. Sharpen man, sharpen iron. And at the end of the day, them boys are fighting for a spot. Daniel Hill wants to retain his position. Guess what? AK Deer wants to take his spot. AK Deer wants more reps. You know, Trey Sean wants more reps. All that. Kevin Riley wants his reps as well. Oh yeah, man. So it's gonna be a real battle in that running back room for sure. No cap. Here we go. EJ hasn't practiced since last week, so probably more of the same for next week, DeBoer said. Mr. Football in the state of Alabama this past year, Crowell rushed for more than 2,600 yards and 35 touchdowns in what should have been his junior season at Jackson, Alabama High School. He reclassified to the 2026 class and enrolled early as one of the most anticipated newcomers who joined the Crimson Tide roster this offseason. And once again, no disrespect to Crowell, EJ Crowell, but this is no high school ball. This is no right Jackson, Alabama high school ball. This the real deal, baby. Best of the best, top of the top, upper echelon, and all that. This the motherfucking SEC. And guess what? You better strap your boots up, lace your cleats up tight. Be ready for a long motherfucking night. You hear me? Heavy. So EJ Correll, boom, he gonna have to learn real fast about how the game go and how the game will go. But as long as he stays dialed in mentally, taking mental reps and all that, he'll be good. The talent is definitely there. But it's a lot of talent in that room. And him being sidelined for damn near majority of spring ball does him no good. Matter of fact, it might be detrimental for him damn near for real. Here we go. Roll Tide. You understand? We go. Alabama signed two high school running backs in the 2026 cycle. Trayshawn Brown, who I spoke about earlier, was a last addition to the class, but the three-star from Huntsville, Texas, has turned heads this spring. Oh, damn. Trayshawn Brown getting down. I repeat, Trayshawn Brown getting down. Okay, bad. Here we go. Here we go. Yo, hey, Dre in the building. My dog Dre in the building. What up, Holmes? Heavy. Here we go. Roll Tide. The building. My dog Dell in the building. Heavy. 2,600 yards and 35 touchdowns. Hell yeah, Dale. Real talk here, real dog. Real motherfucking dog. Straight up. His biggest question, Dale, can he stay healthy, Holmes? Can he stay on that damn field where it's real? That's the biggest concern for EJ Cruell right now. But football, what? Physically, what? Talking about body maturity, what? He's ready right now. Can he stay on the field or can he be available heavy? If not, somebody will be there. Damn near. Believe that. As you just heard, Trayshawn Brown is turning heads. I repeat, turning heads heavy. Hey, let me know in the chat. Fire the chat up if you've been to a practice, if you've seen a scrimmage, Holmes, heard about a scrimmage, etc., etc., etc. What did Trayshawn Brown do? He's turning heads, though. He's turning heads. You see what I mean? That quickly and swiftly. Now, people would assume, right, EJ Cruell is better than Trayshawn Brown, but if he's not on the field to prove it, what does it matter? It's all chatter. Here we go. The guy that I thought had a nice week was Trayshawn, DeBoer said. Showed a little bit today in the scrimmage, but I thought throughout the week there was a live session, short yardage, goal line, and things like that, that he showed some pop. He showed some instinctiveness on how to get that first down when it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, whatever it might be. Also, Trayshawn ain't afraid to do the dirty work. Trayshawn Brown get down in the boogie down town. Here we go. It's never pretty. It's never perfect because there's a lot of dudes up on the line of scrimmage. But I think overall, he's had some good progress here this spring. Oh, yeah. Bitch, yeah. Roll Tide. Here we go. Alabama's run game needed a boost after it struggled throughout the 2025 season. The Tide ranked 125th out of 136 FBS teams in rushing offense a year ago. That is piss poor to the floor. Here we go. Averaging 104.13 yards per game. UA welcomed back 3 backs from last year's team, and a couple of them either had solid scrimmage showings or performed well leading up to Friday's game, like practice. I thought Kevin Riley, when he had no seams to hit, he accelerated, showed some good burst. DeBoer said he's got a good knack in between slithering through and finding those holes. And Kevin Riley, Holmes, prime example. Yeah, he's on the little smaller side per se, but he definitely runs like a bigger running back. You saw it last year before he succumbed to his injuries and all that. But Kevin Riley runs very hard. A real dog back there. It's going to be a real stiff competition in that running back room, right? So the fact Kevin Riley performing well, Trayshawn performing well, turning heads, getting them real nitty gritty yards, them dirty yards and all that. Hey, bro, it's going to be a real competition battle. And guess what? That's great for the room. Man sharpen man, iron sharpen iron. That's motherfucking good for the room. Real good. EJ Cruell gonna get in where he fit in, but until then, dude's gonna ball, dude's gonna show up, and dude's gonna compete. Period. That's just the way of the game, way of the sword. Heavy, roll tide. Here we go. Here we go. Make sure you come in the chat, like it up early. Oh yeah. Alabama will return to the field for spring practice number 11 on Tuesday, April 7th. So that's pretty much it for the running back room. You understand? But like I say, I really love this running back room. And once EJ Cruell gets back into the mix slowly but surely. And at the end of the day, you don't want to force it. You don't want to rush him. I know it's probably frustrating for them and him, right? But boom, you do not want to rush him back on the damn field. Then he suffers a worse injury than he has now. Tissue, tissue, soft tissue, all that. It may be tricky, it may be different at times. You understand? He may think he feels good, then he feels more pain here and there, but they have the benefit of not having to rush him, period. And if he has to miss the whole spring, guess what? Boom. Let him miss the whole damn spring then. Let him miss the whole damn spring then, Holmes. Period. Let him be prepared for summer ball and fall ball and all that. And compete for a job then. But don't get me wrong, never get it misconstrued. This is very important. Spring ball is very damn important for status, development, growth, physicality, all that. Getting back into the groove of ball in general, baby. Heavy. You understand? And seeing who gonna separate themselves. And you can't separate yourself sitting on the pine. I'm being real. No disrespect. I'm just being real here. Heavy. You understand? Yeah, here we go. Let's go, man. No cap. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we gonna dive into some transfer news, right? Some transfer news and all that early. Now we know the transfer portal is really important right now. Not as in just as important as recruiting, I would say no, but very close, very close. The way you can change your team, change your roster instantly, bam, that quickly and swiftly by bringing a certain player in. And I believe Bama has done just that. We've heard about the Racing Delgadis, damn near going to be a starting center coming through the portal, right? Boom. You know, we heard about Caleb Woodson, linebacker. We heard about what's old boy name out of USC? Out of USC, damn. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I think he one of the players that stood out as well, for real. But transfers can come in and play right away. You know, may the best man win. May the best damn man win, Holmes. Period. Roll Tide for the damn pride. Here we go. Transfer additions stand out in Alabama's wide receiver, tight end units during scrimmage 2 of spring. You know, this is real intel heavy. So let's get it, bro. Make sure you come in the chat once again. You like it up. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell as well. Here we go. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium was once again the host of the Alabama football team on Friday afternoon as the Crimson Tide was back in its home stadium for its second scrimmage of spring practice. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer was asked which wide receiver stood out during the scrimmage, and his mind first went to a new addition that's only been with the team a few months, NC State transfer Noah Rogers. And we know coming in Noah Rogers, it was questions, it was rumors, it was speculation saying, hey, this dude could really ball. He could come in right away and make a name for himself. You see Ryan Coleman Williams looking like he's back in old form to old form. You got Noah Rogers coming in heavy, coming in real hot. So every room has talent. I repeat, every room has dogs. It's going to just be very interesting to see which dogs separate themselves early. But I'm telling you now, ain't nobody safe, bro. Ain't nobody safe at all. Not Ryan Coleman Williams, not Noah Rogers, not nobody. Rico Scott, Lloyd Sear Brooks, whoever. And that we can go any level defensively or offensively as well. But the wide receiving room is stacked too. This roster is stacked. Matter of fact, any unit you want to take a look at, I guess you would say the unit with the biggest question so far right now, the biggest question mark probably is what unit? Probably the O-line. But news is that they're looking better as well. And we got the new position coach, Clem. We know how big of a difference position coaches make. You understand? As far as the physicality, aggressiveness, anger, all that. That O-line needs all that. And hopefully that's what Clem brings to the table, period. But I'm very excited about the direction this team is going in. Here we go. Noah's been consistent. Had a couple of nice catches, made some big plays there when we needed to, DeBoer said. Even sometimes short ones where we got to move the chains. He'd probably be the one that stood out the most. Mm-hmm. Rogers is entering his redshirt junior year after spending the past 2 seasons with NC State and starting his career at Ohio State. He put up just under 1,000 yards of receiving over those 2 seasons in Raleigh and is expected to be an instant impact addition in the wide receiver room this fall. Here we go. You understand? Shout out NC State. Shout out North Carolina as well. Here we go, homie. Heavy. Roll Tide. Here we go. Ryan Coleman Williams had a great scrimmage last week, DeBoer said. Derek Meadows has had some big plays throughout the whole spring. We know Derek Meadows, freshman last year, he's looking to make a big impact as well this year. So the room is stacked. The room is action packed, baby. No cap. Oh yeah. Here we go. didn't have didn't have as many plays today, and then Lloyd Brooks is continuing to do the same things you saw him do in the second half of the season. He's going to be a big part of the offense. He's a very versatile guy, can do things both down the field and short. Development, all that, bro. All year long, right? All spring long, all summer long, all fall long. Put that work in, lock in, zone in, coaching staff, player relationships, period. Develop your squad. The board, develop your damn squad, K Dog. For real. The talent is there. The more and more you go over this roster, observe this roster, the players they bring in through the portal and all that, this is a championship roster. If they can be on the same accord, if they can go out there and be consistent and play consistent ball, right? Right. If they can run the damn ball, tote that damn tater, baby, for real. So it's a lot of ifs as well. But oh yeah, the more and more spring goes on, the more and more I see K Dog. Yeah, the more and more I continue and believe and really believe in this team and the direction is going in. Oh yeah, year three will bring big things for Bama to Bama. All that I really feel that way, man. Here we go. Roll Tide. Ain't nothing rolling but the damn tide. Believe that. Oh yeah, bitch. Yeah. Here we go. DeBoer also addressed how the tight end and DeBoer also addressed how the tight end unit looked, which has lost its top producer in Josh Cuevas to the NFL. DeBoer gave praise to two returning faces that are entering their second years in the program and have the chance to take over those missing reps. Here we go. These reps that were Caleb Edwards last year, he took a lot, DeBoer said. He didn't have the spring and came in the summer. He wasn't an early enrollee a year ago, so he got thrown in the fire with very few reps. Seeing his development, both with the strength of an offseason and then his familiarity and how confident he is, I think it's showing up. Marshall Pritchett had a nice scrimmage today. Probably one of his better showings I've seen as far as not just doing what you're supposed to do, but standing out. And Marshall Pritchard also, he's more of a wide receiver, receiving tight end and all that for real. So you can really utilize him as a weapon. He got some reps last year towards the end of games and shit like that type shit. But Marshall Pritchard, will he step up? Will he make a name for himself as well? Here we go. But he's more of your receiving type tight end. Here we go. But standing out, making some plays. I think it starts with those two. Elsewhere, the unit, DeBoer noted that Oklahoma State transfer Josh Ford has received major props from his teammates for the attitude he's carried, not just through today's scrimmage, but throughout the spring. And you know that energy, man. He bring that energy, man, for real. Josh Ford, more of a blocking tight end. So he brings you that physicality, that edge, that aggression. Yeah. That's what Bama needs for real. I mean, shit, we talking about opening up the run game, reinforcing the run game, getting back to that motherfucking murder ball and all that. Well, how do you do that? You bring in dogs. You bring in tight ends like Josh Ford, who got good energy, bro, who bring in a certain energy to the team, to the squad quickly and swiftly. And he'll get off and he'll bust somebody's ass. He'll punch him right in the mouth, helmet to helmet, right shoulder pad to shoulder pad. You understand? Early. He's a real dog. Violent, aggressive at the point of attack. That's what you want. That's what you need. We got to run that damn ball. Straight up. Here we go. But the fact he's coming in through the portal, new player, guys already giving him respect, giving him his just due, speaking highly of him. Well, that's great news for Bama, period. True characteristics of a true leader as well. Let's go, Josh Ford, baby. Lock in. Roll Tide. Ford stands at 6'6" and weighs 265 pounds, bringing a physicality about him over from Stillwater into his red shirt sophomore year in Tuscaloosa. Here we go. Then Josh. Josh is a guy that brings a demeanor, DeBoer said. We just did our shout outs. Bray Hubbard shouted him out, talked about his demeanor, him coming across on blocks and coming up the field on blocks. He's got a full head of steam coming at you, and he isn't really scared of anyone. That's what we need, man. That's what we need, man. You hear me? Heavy. That's what I'm talking about right there. Roll Tide. We got brown guy in the building, brown guy in the building. What up, big dog? He say what? Take the what and leave the what? What he said? Hold up. This team is getting worse every season. What? This one won't be any different. Hold on, brown guy. First off, who sent you, Holmes? Are you a Bama fan? Are you an Auburn fan? Are you an Ohio State fan? Are you a bandwagon fan? Because how could you sit here and say this team is getting worse every year when it's been progression every damn year? From year one to year two, we're going to see how year three pans out. But for you to sit up here and say, hey, this team is getting worse every year, what? They improved last year. Matter of fact, first year, they didn't even make the playoff. Second year, they made the playoff, came back after being down 17 points to an Oklahoma team with a solid defense, period. So that's an improvement right there, Holmes. No cap. So brown guy, once again, I ask you, bro, are you a Bama fan? Huh? And matter of fact, while you at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that damn bell. Huh? Support the channel, support the grind, right? You support the fake already, support the real for real. Here we go. Roll Tide. What's wrong with him, man? Heavy. He talking about this team gets worse every year. How the fuck they get worse? They just made the playoffs last year. Yeah, they just won a playoff game last year. After the first year they won, made it to none. Heavy. Or you want to bring up the Indiana game? Bet. Boom. But you gonna keep dwelling on that shit? It was a bad game, bad loss for real. News came out, word came out, suspect shit on that as well, for real. You know, players underestimating Indiana, saying Indiana ain't this, not being locked in, fully prepared mentally. And guess who that falls back on? DeBoer, Kalen motherfucking DeBoer, for not having his players ready, for giving them the leeway to feel like they should underestimate a great Indiana team, period. With all them veteran players on there, experienced players, and all that. So they went out there, got their ass kicked, got their ass beat. But guess what? You learn from it, then you win from it. I repeat, you learn from it, then you win from it, right? Right. The goal is, the key is not to keep making the same mistake, not to make the same mistake again, huh? That's the trick, huh? That's the win-win. But at the end of the day, Bama, are they really ready? And hell yeah, them boys ready, huh? But brown guy, you saying that bullshit statement lets me know right there. You don't even watch the fucking games, man. Roll Tide. Here we go. But shout out brown guy in the building. Heavy. Let's get back to it, man. Here we go. Oh yeah. Where we at here? Where we at here? Here we go. Him coming across on blocks and coming up the field on blocks. He's got a full head of steam coming at you, and he isn't really scared of anyone. It's really good to see. One of the biggest claps in the shutouts was for Josh. That's something you can see where you're not around the guys all the time. Someone behind the scenes that seems to have the guys rallying around him. I really appreciate what he's bringing. You know, shout out Josh Ford, man, for real. Just showing a level of maturity, you know, heavy. Like coming in right away. Okay, you know this. Again, man, for real. Coming in right away, you know, showing that true leadership, a true maturity, bringing the mentality of wanting to win. No bullshit, no games. Let's play ball, period. Play damn ball for sure. Here we go, man. Roll Tide. And now, before I get into any more articles, I want to dive into the Kalen DeBoer interview, presser, whatever you want to call it, right? And all that. So, boom. Second. Give me 1 second. We're going to run it here for real. Oh, yeah. But the pads are on. The pads are on. You can smell football in the air. It's nothing like college football, college spring ball, and all that. You know what I mean? Early. It's so boring as far, you got basketball, you got the Final Four, you got this, you got that, cool, all good. But ain't nothing like football, SEC, get down with the get down nitty gritty football, Bama football, and all that. You hear me? Heavy. So we're going to see for sure, man. Here we go. But I want to get into this Kalen DeBoer pressure, see what he had to say in general and all that, period. Let's check him out real quick. But I'm really proud of K-Dog. Already mentioned his weight loss. Every time I see the man, I say he's really putting that work in. He lost a lot of weight. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I told him before, listen to me, K-Dog. Listen to me, dog. I want you to win. No cap. You hear me? Roll Tide. Yeah, man. Real. Let's break it down. Here we go. This is K-Dog, Kalen DeBoer speaking.
Scrimmage 2, good to be at the stadium. Probably that's the biggest thing. Getting in here and all of it from the players, and got 20 plus high school guys, and then the transfers too. First time really stepping inside Brian Denny, and getting a feel for that. So we'll be back in here obviously next week for A-Day, and then kicking game 2. I think first time really kicking in here, so it's good for those guys, whether it's the kickers or the punters. So competitive scrimmage probably flipped as far as who won early, who won late, probably from the first time, and that's usually the case. Someone's got something to prove, and you can tell there's another level of install when it comes to what we've done this week on top of what we put into the first scrimmage. Some execution really good, some execution that we certainly got to clean up. But again, that's sometimes a part of the process as we get to the second scrimmage. There's a lot happening, not just what you're doing, but what you're facing, what you gotta be ready for.
And you must understand as well, right? K-Dog, Kalen DeBoer, he's going through his own process. He's going through his own progress and growth for real. This is still fairly new to him. I'm talking about new. I'm not talking about per se coaching, but still the SEC room. Only in year 3 years in the SEC room, dog, it's a different room, a different animal, and all that. We know how the SEC operates. We know how it goes down for real, dog. Understanding the the legacy that Saban left, the footsteps he's walking behind, period. So he's still adjusting himself. But I love the growth. I repeat, I love the growth. And then even this year, he's showing physical growth right now. Shedding the pounds, shedding the weight, heavy. Happy for the dude, for real, man. No cap. Here we go, bro. Here we go. Roll Tide. Oh, yeah. Make sure you come in the chat, you like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, you come in the chat, fire it up, like the chat up, support the grind, support the channel. Boom. Let's get it. Here we go.
On the other side of the ball. So some highs and lows for each side of the ball. Questions?
Up front here with Nick.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life.
Offensive line, how would you assess the progress from scrimmage 1, scrimmage 2, where they're at?
I think, there's the 1s and their 2s. I would say there's differences between kind of what their strengths are right now. A lot of it's the matchups that they have in front of them. I think probably you want to talk more about the 1s first. Started a little bit slow the first couple of drives, got some seams, the running backs hit it for some explosives then. And then, it just goes back and forth. It's the ebbs and flows of football. But I think overall what you see is they're understanding what their responsibility is. Again, another level of installs, some new things we put in. Feel like the stuff we've repped That's across the board. They've done a good job of picking up, and the things that are newer, we still got some work to do. And I think the potential's there. I think, from run game, slowly inching forward. It's not all of a sudden you're just going to hit it all. I think that there's progress in certain things. There's certainly schemes and stuff that we're not as strong in yet, but
and once again, that's part of the process, part of the program, and all that. I mean, of course, it won't look perfect all at once, but as long as they're continuing to grow and get better every day, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, we just want them boys to be able to run the ball for real. You understand? Run the damn ball, period. We must have a run game. It's no way around it, or you will be in the same situation as they were last year. But that's the biggest thing. It takes one day at a time, enforce it, train, work, develop, heavy. And eventually it will all click. The talent is there, of course, but it has to do a lot with coaching as well. Play calling, major key. We're talking about the O-line adapting and all that. How is Ryan Grubb adapting as well? What has he learned? What did he learn from last season, Holmes, as well? Does he got his head out of his ass per se? Hey, run the ball more, Grubb. Run the damn ball more, Grubb. No cap. Here we go. Henry Dion in the building. Henry Dion in the building. HBTFD. Say what, bro? Expound, Holmes. Heavy. But shout out Henry Dion in the building. You know what I mean? Here we go. Roll Tide. Here we go. Let's get back to it.
There's some things we could go to if we had to play a game, this weekend that we feel pretty confident in. Protecting the quarterback, again, it's probably much the same. The concepts we've run, got a lot of reps under our belt on. We're pretty sound in the stuff that's newer. This week, probably install. You can see that they're not quite in sync. Probably had more pressure on the quarterback this week than what we had last week. And I think there's a little bit of both sides, whether it's execution on offensive line or the defensive line, wanting to prove something after last week, probably not getting as much pressure.
Stay up front here with left with Charlie.
Just what'd you see from Austin and Keelan, and how'd you maybe split the reps up between those two?
They split it up pretty even. That was the goal. I'm not sure how it exactly ended. I know there was a comment close to the end that I caught where it was close and we just.
The fact he said the reps were split up, the reps have been being split up evenly. That shows you right there it's a true competition, bro, a true battle. No one's getting more reps than the other. It's going to be balanced out. It will be even, a fair competition. I repeat, a fair competition. May the best man win. Here we go.
Trying to finish it out that way, but they've been splitting it. And I would say today wasn't their sharpest day. And a lot of it's what we've been talking with offensive line. I think there's
what he said, not their sharpest day. And that's, the ebbs and flows of spring camp. Got to understand every day won't look great. They won't look great every day, but the goal is the majority of the time they look great, and eventually they look great all the damn time. That's the main goal, period. But you're not surprised to hear or shocked to hear and say, hey, they had a rough day today, or they weren't the sharpest today at all. That's part of the process, part of the program, right? Period. They make the mistakes now, so when game time comes, guess what? They don't make the same damn mistakes, baby. No cap. So I'm not concerned. Oh, they had a bad day. Shit, that's what you expect, bro. Period. I won't say you necessarily expected, Holmes, but as football, mistakes will happen. Bad days may come and happen. But once again, like I said, majority of the time, how are they performing on the field, off the field, etc. Boom. But this is a real competition. That's very important to know. With all due respect, that's how about them fucking dogs. I'm with Georgia, but I do have ultimate respect for Bama. Roll Tide and God bless y'all. Hey, much appreciated, Henry. I respect it, Henry. You hear me? I respect it, Henry. Big dog, no cap, heavy. Shout out Georgia too, man. But it's Roll Tide over here. Roll damn Tide. See you soon. See you soon, Henry. See you real soon, Henry Dion. Hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you edit. You hear me, Henry? Like, comment, and subscribe, right? And hit that damn bell as well. Matter of fact, share this with any and everybody you motherfucking know. Tell them support the grind and support the channel for sure. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Shout out Georgia in the building, man. For real, right? Here we go. Here we go, man. Heavy. Let's get to it.
You know, just get in sync with guys, the reps that they've had a lot. Maybe even the things that we have as part of our base offense that we've done now for 2 years here. You can see everyone being in sync, and when you're playing with confidence, you're going to rip it with confidence, and there's some of the new stuff.
Shout out my dog Henry in the building. No cap. Roll Tide.
That maybe isn't even things we've had until this year or done as much of until this spring. You can see that we struggled with it. So I'd say it wasn't up to the standard that they've had. But there's no doubt that, again, if we had to play a game, there's some things that they do really well that we're confident in, that they can execute at a high level.
On the right, Hank, Chase.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
I think this is the last time we'll talk to you until next Saturday. So can you tell us with any specifics what the 8A format's going to look like?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, there's little football things that we have. I mean, we're going to try to today. We scrimmaged the whole time, move the ball into the field, tackling. It'll be an offense versus defensive thing. I guess that's probably the first starting point. I don't like splitting up teams. Want guys working with guys.
You know, just one thing about the whole 8-day game, the spring game and all that, I just want Kalen DeBoer, you know, to be very aware. You understand? Very aware of injuries, Holmes, and all that. Now, I understand you can't fear injuries. You got to let the players play. A player could get injured at any time. But don't overdo it. Don't overkill it just to impress or satiate the fans and all that. That's all I'm saying, bro. You must think about being healthy when the season starts, period. I understand 8-day game, a lot of hype, a lot of fandemonium, cool. But DeBoer, K-Dog, needs to think about his team, his players, and his players' health. You know, because guess what? You lose players in the spring, you might not have them in the fall. That's the most important part of the game, right? Right. Have them boys ready, but not only ready, healthy, game one. So cool. You're doing a scrimmage for the fans, live action, bet. I get it. I understand. Bring the so-called tradition back. Yeah, you know, 8-day game. But at the end of the day, if your players get hurt, the fans up in that bitch cheering can't play for them, DeBoer. Huh? I repeat, K-Dog, if your players get hurt, the fans up in the stands cheering and shit, drinking a hot, cold brew, having a hot dog or two, can't play for these players, period. So yeah, I understand. Oh, please the fans. Look out for the fans. Appreciate the fans, all that. And that's cool, bet, fine and dandy. I get it, baby. But don't put your players at risk too much just to satisfy some damn fans at the end of the day, dog. No cap. Here we go.
And taking advantage of every practice we can. Last week we did a little bit of thud and then scrimmaged probably 80% of it. So we'll just kind of see as we get in through the week, see where we're at. But that's what most of it will be. And so just be a lot of scrimmaging. You know, we'll do what we probably did today.
On the left, Matt.
What did you see from the running backs today? Do you have any update on EJ's status?
Yeah, EJ hasn't practiced since last week, so probably more of the same for next week. And thought Kevin Riley, when he had seams to hit, he accelerated, showed good bursts. He's got a good knack in between slithering through and finding those holes. I thought Daniel, had a good week of practice. Probably didn't get quite as many opportunities to hit the big ones today. And that's not necessarily always on him. And so, the guy that I thought had a nice week was Trayshawn. Showed it, a little bit today in the scrimmage, but I thought throughout the week there was some a live session, short yardage, goal line, and things like that he shows a pop. He showed some instinctiveness on how to get that first down when it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, whatever it might be. And it's never pretty, it's never perfect because there's a lot of dudes up on the line of scrimmage. But I think overall he's had some good progress here through the spring.
On the right, Colin.
Who are you guys working with at Green Dot and inside linebacker? Can you give us an update on what that rotation is like?
Yeah, there's so many guys rotating in right now. Caleb's gonna, Caleb, and when Caleb's not in there, you're gonna have, the other guys. It's a combination of Luke and QB, and try not to do too much.
Now, this linebacker position, the linebacker core, very stacked as well, very elite as well. This is not the first time that DeBoer has spoke about Caleb Woodson at a high level. He's very impressed with Caleb Woodson for sure, and it's easy to tell. Kane Walmack is as well. But you're going to see some different names, different faces maybe, baby, for sure. QB Reese, Luke Metz. It's going to be a real battle that comes down to the true wire. And I like it. I love it. I'm here for it because guess what? The more talent you have, the better. Let's get it, bro. Roll Tide. Here we go.
But you also got to get these guys prepped, and you find out who's used to having or can adapt to having the green dot. And someone talking in his ear had a conversation when we first instituted the rule. It was with the NFL defensive coordinator, and I remember him telling me that one of his best players, an all-pro, who you'd think has no problem, it's just when he got that noise in his head, it was just something that slowed him up. It didn't confuse him or anything, but it was just something where he wasn't at his best. And so you do have to mix it up and see if there's anything where it does cause a guy problems. But I guess we're not to that point where so many guys rotating into where we're locked in on one guy or two guys, kind of letting it be spread across the board.
Stay on the right, Hunter.
Christian men, don't struggle building a business alone. Let us build one with you.
Yeah, just talk about Keelan's command in the huddle. I know that was a factor last season.
Yeah, I try to put my nose in there and just hear exactly that as much as I can, whether it's today or throughout the week. He's almost to the point now where he doesn't have to think when he says it, and now he's got to slow down to make sure everyone is very clear, which is a good problem to have, right? Just being articulate and not rattling through the calls, which at one point he might mess up the call. And it's never.
And see something so simple right there, right? Just Keelan Russell learning how to play call, have better cadence at the line or call the plays better and all that. Simple things, subtle things that make a real difference as well, though. Controlling the line of scrimmage, having control of the huddle, right? The players believing in him in the huddle as well. So Keelan Russell, you would think something that would probably be so simple. No, it's a very important part of the game, for real. Just communication overall, play calling, making the right play, the way what your cadence is, making sure it permeates to your offensive guys correctly. Make sure they hear you clearly and all that. And so this is all progress in the process. Everyone assumes that Keelan Russell is the guy, but this is a real true competition battle for a reason. No guy has the job, that the reps are even, the reps are balanced, and these guys are both going to compete at the highest level. And at the end of the day, right, may the best man win. Roll Tide. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
It's not perfect yet because, again, there's new install plays that he's just had first reps. Same thing with Austin. There's some new stuff he hasn't called as much either, so or at all. And they're picturing in their head, and that's what I like to see is that they can rattle it off as far as the command with the players. I think both of them step in the huddle and And if there's chatter in there and they need eyes up on them, they'll say it and the guys all respond. So there's a lot of respect that the team has for them, and obviously the offensive guys, when they're in that moment, they have to do exactly that.
Stay in the right and the blue.
Yeah, with the departure of Cuevas in a pretty deep tight end room, who's a guy that you can see fill that void?
Yeah, I think there's reps that were Caleb last year took a lot. He didn't have a spring and came in the summer, and so he wasn't early enrollee a year ago. So he got thrown in the fire with very few reps. Seeing his development both with the strength in an off season, and then just his familiarity and how confident he is. I think it's showing up. Marshall had a nice scrimmage today. It's probably one of his better showings that I've seen, as far as not just doing what you're supposed to do, but standing out and making some plays.
And that's what it's about. I read it in the article a little while ago, but that's what it's about, bro. Making flash plays, making a name for yourself, standing out, right? Doing something more than the norm, something that separates you, puts you above the pack. You understand? It takes maybe 1-2 big plays, bro, to change your depth chart, to change your spot in a depth chart, on the depth chart, etc. So be very aware of players flashing here, flashing there, standing out. That's what it's about, bro. That's how you earn your shot, earn your reps and all that, period. So it's going to be a pure battle for real. Here we go. Roll Tide.
I think it starts with those two, and then Josh is a guy that brings a demeanor. We just did our shout outs, and I can't remember who shouted him out, but it was about his mile with Bray Hubbard shouted him out, and talked about his demeanor and him coming across on blocks and coming up the field on blocks, and he's got a full head of steam coming at you, and he ain't really scared of anyone. So it's really good to see, and probably one of the biggest claps in the shout outs was for Josh. So that's someone you can see even when you're not around the guys all the time, someone behind the scenes that seems to have the guys rallying around him and appreciate what he's bringing.
Front and left, Blake.
Which receivers stood out today, and just how has that unit progressed as a whole?
Noah's been consistent, getting a couple of nice catches and some big plays. Thought he was there when he needed to, even just sometimes short ones where you got to move the chains. Maybe it's not just complete natural catch. He'd probably be the one that stood out the most. Ryan had a great scrimmage last week. Derek Meadows has had some big plays throughout the whole spring. Didn't have as many plays today, and then last year just continued to do probably the same things that you saw him doing in the second half of the season. He's part of the offense, so he's a very versatile guy. Can do things both down the field and short.
Anything else, guys? All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Roll Tide.
Shout out to Ridge.
That's pretty much it for the DeBoer pressure and all that there around yonder. But like I said, bro, it's a real competition. It's a real pure battle. The question is who will win and will the best man win. This is really just the beginning, though, for sure. Let's not forget this is just the beginning for real. Now, I want to dive a little more deeper into the quarterback situation. You understand? Here we go. I think sometimes people believe, the quarterback should always play perfect or it should never be any mistakes. No, that's where you're very wrong. Mistakes will happen as part of the game, as part of it. Sometimes people get a little anxious, a little carried away. Oh, he had a bad day. He threw a pick. He did this. He did that. And, so what? That's part of the game for real. Mistakes happen. You want to get to a point where you're making no mistakes or making less mistakes when the season comes around. But spring ball, that's where you want the down practices to happen, right? And this and that and the so-called negative plays. You turn them into good plays in the end. But I want to dive into that article real quick. Oh yeah. Heavy. Here we go. They'll probably get ready to probably get ready to drop the link in a little minute. Want to come lock in with me, rock and roll with me. Let's get it, man. Talk real Bama ball. Here we go. Heavy. I repeat, lock in with me, dog. Once again. Here we go. Alabama QBs didn't have their sharpest day in second spring scrimmage. Here we go. I just want to dive into it right a little more. Alabama held its second scrimmage of the spring on Friday afternoon at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. The Crimson Tide didn't release stats from any of its close scrimmages, but UA head coach Kalen DeBoer assessed the quarterback's play. Spring practice number 10 wasn't their best showing, according to the third-year coach, and we just heard K-Dog speak on that as well, right? You hear me? Heavy. But I want to do a more deeper dive into it as well. We go. I would say today wasn't their sharpest day. DeBoer told reporters after the 2-hour scrimmage, and those days will happen. Those days will come. I mean, them boys, fresh off of spring break? No, don't get me wrong. No fucking excuses. Heavy. You understand? Early. Show up and play good ball. But they won't always look the sharpest. They won't always look the best, period. No, that's not how it goes. Here we go. I would say today wasn't their sharpest day, DeBoer told reporters after the 2-hour scrimmage. And a lot of it's what we've been talking with the offensive line. I think there's just getting in sync with guys. The reps that they've had a lot, maybe even the things that we have as part of our base offense that we've done now for 2 years here. You can see everyone being in sync. And when you're playing with confidence, you're going to rip it with confidence. True. And, I'm glad he used that word in sync, Holmes, right? Heavy. Because guess what? You want your team to have great chemistry. That's how you build a team, a championship caliber roster and team. Everyone knows it. I don't care how much talent you have. If your room is divided, if your room isn't on the same accord, if they're not locked in together, they're not in sync, etc., 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 you ain't winning a damn thing, baby. No cap, for real. You understand? Period. I stand on that 10 toes down in the boogie downtown. Early. Here we go. And a lot of it's what we've been talking with the offensive line. I think they're just getting boom, boom. Here we go. And there's some of the new stuff that maybe isn't even things we've had until this year or done as much of until this spring. And I like that. I really like that. Incorporating new plays, new schemes, and all that. Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb not wanting to be predictable. And I like it. I love it. I'm here for it. I want some more of it, baby. Oh, yeah. Bitch, yeah. Right? Changing, being creative, being innovative, and all that, baby. That is very important. Heavy. Not letting teams figure you out, not letting the SEC figure you out, right? Not letting Kirby in Georgia figure you out, right? Boom. You understand? Not letting who else? Not letting Heupel in Tennessee figure you out, Auburn, etc. The list goes on. But I'm glad DeBoer is continuing to insert new schemes, new plays into the playbook. That's what it's about, without a doubt. Roll Tide. Here we go. Let's get it. But it takes time to build that cohesion. It's going to be mistakes, errors, period. When you're throwing new plays in there, new communications in there, players stepping up to higher roles, captain like, leadership like, being more vocal and all that type shit. Oh yeah, it's gonna take a certain amount of time, but they will get there. Trust me. And the best man will be on the damn field where it's real. We go. So I'd say it wasn't up to the standard that they've had, but there's no doubt that if we had to play a game, there are some things that they do really well that we're confident in, that they can execute at a high level. Austin Mack and Keelan Russell are competing for the starting job behind center left vacant by NFL draft hopeful Ty Simpson. This year's Alabama quarterback battle is likely to linger into fall camp. Big facts, no cap. And Friday's scrimmage rep distribution illustrates what the coaches have said. Once again, we heard Kalen DeBoer, K-Dog say this earlier. We just split it up pretty even. That was the goal, DeBoer said. I'm not sure how it exactly ended. I know there was a comment close to the end that I caught where it was close, and we're just trying to finish it out that way, but they've been splitting it. Mack, a redshirt junior, is the most experienced player in Alabama's 2026 quarterback room, but he only played in 4 games last season. He is well versed in the offensive system, though, as he followed DeBoer and company from Washington to Tuscaloosa in 2024. But Russell was the first high school quarterback to commit to the new regime. And despite being more green than his fellow signal caller, the former 5-star recruit is firmly in the mix for the starting job. And as we know about Keelan Russell, or if you don't know, let me elucidate it for you or to you. Keelan Russell is a fast learner, what you would call a fast ass learner, heavy. I mean, the same guy who went from being ranked in the 300s to the next season being the number 1 quarterback in the land, in the nation, and all that. So he learns very fast. He adapts to the game very fast. So that's a major key for him as well. Even though Austin Mack has been in the system per se longer, but Keelan Russell, speed it up, dog, develop him, and he's already a year in anyway, mentally and physically. So it's going to be a real competition, bro, a great competition. And I got to keep reiterating that as well. You know, you can't give it to this guy. You can't give it to that guy for sure. You got to wait and see how it pan out at the end of the day, Holmes, period. Ain't nobody got the upper hand in this situation. I don't care what nobody talking about round yonder. You know what I mean? Early. Them boys from the motherfucking battle. Spring, summer, and fall for sure. Here we go. Oh yeah. Here we go. Heavy. Let's get it, man. Heavy. Oh yeah. But where does Russell's command of the offense stand after 2 spring scrimmages? DeBoer discussed how both Russell and Mack have led the huddle after 10 spring football practices. He's almost to the point now where he doesn't have to think when he says it, and now he's got to slow down to make sure everyone is very clear, which is a good problem to have, right? DeBoer said, just being articulate and not rattling through the calls. At one point, he might mess up the call. It's not perfect yet because, again, there's new install plays that he just had the first reps. Once again, process the program. I repeat, part of the process and program. You know, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Give me my peanut butter with my damn jam. Here we go. Roll Tide. Oh, yeah. Same thing with Austin. There's some new stuff he hasn't called as much either or at all. And they're picturing it in their head. And that's what I like to see, is that they can rattle it off as far as the command with the players. You got to have that communication. You got to have that control of the huddle, right? Period. That comes with respect, with earning belief and confidence from your players, from your teammates, and all that. That's a major question as well. Who can be more of a leader for this team? Who will the players believe in to lead this team, good or bad, pretty or ugly, in this situation? Who will this team really want to lean on to take them into battle, into war every Saturday, every damn Saturday? Who do they want to lean on, Holmes, for real? Now, everybody thinks it's just about talent. No, the players have a say-so as well. You know, who do they think can lead them, take them there? Who's the best man for the job? Take it back to the old Nick Saban ways, right? Boom. Where the ones at, the players choose. The players run on the field heavy. And it's a domino effect. But at the end of the day, bro, it's going to be a real battle, for real. You understand? No doubt. But who can take that? On the field is important, of course, but who can take that next step leadership wise, take that next step being a pure captain role? You understand? Who can be a real field general around that bitch early? Roll Tide. You know, that's the man who gonna win straight up. Here we go. Playing, boy. Here we go. I think both can step in the huddle, and if there's chatter in there and they need eyes up on them, they'll say it and guys will respond. So there's a lot of respect that the team has for them, and obviously the offensive guys were in there in that moment. They have to do exactly that. Real shit, bro. Real shit. You hear me? Heavy. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. And I want to see if it's any more video out there. But K Dog pretty much summed up the whole scrimmage, right? Right. You know, early. 1 second. Mhm. For sure. 1 second, man. One second, dog. Let's see who want to get into next. You see here. About my O line. We pretty much know about the O line, the battle between the O line for sure. But let's see how it performed in the second spring scrimmage as well. Here we go. But see, DeBoer pretty much spoke on all of this when I broke down the DeBoer presser. So I don't really got to read all of it anyway. But like I got to keep saying, the O line is the major key. You know, how they perform, if they can run the ball, if they can be physical, protect the quarterback, and all that. You know, it's going to depend on how this offense flows. You know, I understand quarterback play, play calling, all that matters, of course. But if we're talking what area needs to be most improved, the run game, the O-line performance, period. They need to be more aggressive, powerful, physical, and all that. No damn fear, period, Holmes. Heavy. You understand? No doubt. You understand? No doubt. Heavy. Here we go. I think there's the ones and the twos, and there are differences with that. Their strengths are right now. The matchups they have in front of them, DeBoer said. You want to talk more about the ones first? Started a little bit slow the first couple of drives. Got some seams, the running backs hit for explosives. Then it goes back and forth. It's the ebbs and flows of football. One thing overall, I think overall, what you see is they're understanding what their responsibility is. Getting another level of install, some new things we put in, feel like the stuff we repped, that's across the board. They've done a good job of picking up, and things that are newer, we've got some work to do. I think the potential is there. And once again, the O line as well, bro. A lot of new faces around yonder. So it's going to take time for them to mesh and be in total sync as well, Holmes. Heavy, right? Right. Part of the program early. So, but I love the direction they're headed in for sure. You know, the progress they're making. Let's get it, man. Let's damn get it. I want to see murder ball. Murder motherfucking ball. Huh? All fall. Period. Here we go. Let's get it. The Crimson Tide's offensive line has undergone a complete transformation during the offseason. The unit has a new position coach after hiring Adrian Clem to replace Chris Kapolovic, while also replacing 11 departures to the transfer portal, NFL draft, or graduation with 11 incoming freshmen and transfers. A major focus has been placed throughout the spring on the run game, which was among the worst in the SEC last season. From the run game, slowly inching forward, it's not all of a sudden you're gonna hit it. You're gonna hit it all. DeBoer said, "I think there's progress in certain things. There's certainly schemes and stuff we're not strong in yet." And once again, that all comes with time, of course. Here we go. There's some things we could go to if we had to play a game this weekend that we feel pretty confident in. Alabama brought back one true starter from last year's team in Michael Carroll, but also but also return pieces expected to compete for or win starting roles like Jackson Lloyd and William Sanders. The transfer class is filled with both long-term project pieces and potential starters, such as Cal Poly transfer Rayson Delgatti and Mississippi State transfer Javin James. DeBoer said the unit had a worse day in pass protection than it had in last week's scrimmage, putting the pass blocking in a similar boat as the run blocking at this stage. And I heard that boy Yumi Azulu got off. I'm gonna break that down in a minute, Holmes, for sure. Heavy. Here we go. Here we go. Roll Tide. Protecting the quarterback is much of the same, DeBoer said. The concepts we run, we've got a bunch of reps under our belt on. The stuff that's never this week, install. You can see they're not quite in sync. Probably had more pressure on the quarterback this week than what we had last week. There's a little bit of both sides. That's a little bit of both sides. Whether it's execution on the offensive line or the defensive line wanting to prove something after last week not getting as much pressure. So it's really been a back and forth and all that. But it's good competition, a real good battle. That's what you want, man. Period. You want them boys to bang. You hear me? Heavy. Give me 1 second, man. Speaking of the defense as well, let's dive into the defense as well. You know, why not? We go. Come on, man. What's up with it? For real. Damn, dog. Hold on. Let's look at some standouts. 6 standouts from Alabama second spring scrimmage. So boom, we got Kevin Riley. DeBoer spoke about Kevin Riley in this presser you and I just heard, right? Heavy. Here we go. Every source we talked to about the running back's game mentioned Riley as having a good day on the ground. One went as far to say he had the best day of any Alabama back, and it was not particularly close. Interesting, very interesting, Holmes, for real. Riley had some impressive runs and showed some good burst. Up to 198 pounds, he also ran through contact, so he's gained weight as well. Still under 200, but he's very strong for his size, period. Here we go. The Tide's tailbacks are focused on being more explosive in 2026. Riley's big day in scrimmage number 2, as well as the emergence of freshman Trayshawn Brown, seems like that is trending in the right direction following 10 spring practices. Next up, Noah Rogers. Here we go. Now you know Noah Rogers out of NC State and all that. Watch out, pay attention for Noah Rogers, Holmes, for sure. Here we go. Roll Tide. Rogers was the wide receiver who stood out the most in the second scrimmage. He scored 2 touchdowns and has put together a strong first spring at Alabama. The NC State transfer has been everything the Crimson Tide staff expected and potentially more. When the first offense was on the field on Friday, the most consistent wide receiver trio consisted of Rogers, Ryan Coleman-Williams, and Lloyd Brooks. Coleman Williams was the star of UA's first scrimmage last week. As we all know, Ryan Coleman Williams balled out hard and balled out heavy. Here we go. And we need that. We need that from him as well. But Rogers stole the show in his first time practicing inside Brian Denny, Devon Tompkins, and Desmond Umeozulu. Now, bruh, this D-line, this trench game, this trench play, really stepping up and showing out. And it's the transfers at that, early. Come on, man. Come on with it. Roll Tide. One of Alabama defensive coordinator Kane Walmack's points of emphasis for the Tide's 2026 offseason was being more dominant up front. And some of the players UA added via the transfer portal are helping in that area. Tompkins was one of the standouts from scrimmage 1, and as expected, he played inside at that bandit position. Umeozulu helped the defense make life hard on the Alabama quarterbacks, and finished with a sack. Several other transfers played with the first team defense, but Tompkins and Umeozulu look to be home run additions. And wow, bro, you got to get the sirens on that bitch early. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Like, no cap though, the fact that Devin Tompkins and Desmond Umeozulu are performing at a high level, oh, that's gonna raise the game of all the players up front. And hey, may the best man win. I stand on that 10 toes down. I don't care who you are, who you is. I don't care if you was a starter, if you a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Man, put the best man on the damn field, Holmes. Period. I don't care about nobody feeling the damn way. Let's get it, bro. Play ball. Shit, what is the standard? The Bama standard? Be the motherfucking best, you hear me? Early. Roll Tide, full of pride. Roll damn Tide. Ain't nothing rolling but the damn Tide. Here we go. Abdul Sanders next up. Maybe one of the bigger surprises of the second scrimmage was who played the majority of the first team snaps at linebacker. Caleb Woodson was a given. He's expected to start game one after transferring from Virginia Tech. Shout out Caleb Woodson, dog, for real. Great signing from Alabama. Neither of Alabama's third-year linebackers joined him, nor did Luke Metz, who was pushing for playing time. It was Sanders, huh? He's a second-year player who has stood out in previous scrimmages, including his first on campus as a freshman last spring. Wow. The competition at inside backer is pretty open, and Sanders is making a strong case forward. Yeah, for real, bro, may the best man win, dog. Heavy. You know, I got to keep saying it. Caleb Woodson sounded like he got that spot solidified and certified and all that. Oh, yeah. Caleb Woodson coming in right away and making major noise. But with his size, with his athleticism, the versatility he brings to the damn table, I'm not shocked or surprised at all. Straight up. You know, early. And you can tell he fits the scheme right away. You know, Kane Walmack wants certain guys who fit his scheme a certain way. That's why you see them, right? Boom, bringing in taller corners 6'2" and up, 6'3" and up, right? Boom. So he wants this defense to look a certain way. He wants them to play a certain way. And like I've been saying, don't be shocked if you see more man-to-man, more extreme blitzes as well. But man-to-man, get up in your chest to chest, motherfucking bench press, nigga, and get him out of there, get him on. Get him going, man, period. But I expect a much more aggressive defense, real physical defense this year, on a more consistent basis, right? Boom. Matter of fact, Kane Walmack's last presser, what he say? He wants the team to give more effort consistently, dominate consistently, period. It was a lot of inconsistent play from Bama. Majority, more so the offense, so to say, but defense had its inconsistencies as well, Holmes, right? Right. So at the end of the day, the whole team overall, be more motherfucking consistent, Holmes. Straight up. Here we go. Yeah, man, let's get it, bro. For real. Here we go. Next up, Ivan Taylor. Now, we heard Keon Sabb even speak highly of Ivan Taylor. Here we go. Alabama's strongest position group is its secondary. Big facts, no cap. Like I've been saying, this will be, could be, should be the best secondary in the nation. Not only does the Tide welcome back 5 players who started multiple games, great experience, but its defensive backfield depth is also impressive. Look no further than Taylor stepping in for an injured Bray Hubbard and playing well. He had welcomed back Hubbard and Keon Sabb, but Taylor seems to have taken the next step and could push for playing time. Even Bray Hubbard, he's not safe. No one is safe. Now you assume he is the starter, right? Boom. But these young guys can come in and make a name for themselves while certain players are injured, for real. You know, he could definitely be in the rotation. Flash play here, flash play there. He could be in the rotation, Holmes, for real. Here we go. Oh yeah, roll tide. Freshman Jordan Edmonds also had an freshman freshman Jordan Edmonds also had an interception, pick six. Oh man, oh wow. Come on, bro. You see it, bro. You see it. Guys ready to play. You know it. For sure. For sure. Yeah. For sure. Hold up, hold up. Let's get it. Let's get it here. Let's see. Let's see. What's you know? But yeah, bro, I want to check out this linebacking core for real. Brock in the building. Brock O'Neal in the building. What up, big dog? Let's get it, man. Roll Tide. Here we go. Is that a Jasper football team behind Bama? What? What you mean? What you mean? Expound, expound. You hear me? What you talking about, bro? You talking about the SKOL Vikes? That's Minnesota Vikings, baby. Minnesota Vikings. You know I'm a Vikings fan as well. I mean, as you can see, the channel is about Vikings football and Alabama football, right? Right. Heavy. Here we go. SKOL Vikes. SKOL Tide. Oh yeah. Shout out Brock O'Neal in the building, man. Hey Brock. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that damn bell. Takes less than 1 second, right, Holmes? Support the grind, support the channel. Why not? Period. You support the fake already, support the real for real. Here we go. Roll Tide. Let's get it. For sure. Now, who will be right now? Who do you think will be the green dot for the Alabama linebacking core? If I had to presume, I would say Caleb Woodson off rip, but it's still a long competition. This is just really the beginning. But you got to give, matter of fact, you got to clap it up for Caleb Woodson coming in right away and making a name for himself early. You understand? Stand for sure, no doubt. I mean, Caleb Woodson coming out of VTech, coming through the portal and all that, coming in right away, boom, playing hard, major work ethic. Everyone speaks highly of him. Everyone has high expectations for him as well. And the way he has come in, showed per leadership, per maturity, and a crazy work ethic. You got to respect it, Holmes. No cap. Roll Tide. Here we go. Oh yeah, bro. Here we go. For sure, man. Let me see. There are so many guys rotating in right now, DeBoer said. And when Caleb Woodson's not in there, you're gonna have the other guys. I mean, it's a combination of Luke Metz and QB Reese. Keep your eyes out, keep your ears open for QB. Watch out for QB Reese as well, period. And try not to do too much of it, but you also got to get these guys prepped and you find out who's used to having it or can adapt to having the green dot. Now, green dot says it all, controls it all. You understand? Like I say, I would assume Caleb Woodson is in front right now as far as who will have carry the green dots. But the green dot is very important, man. Why? He gets the team in order. He gets guys lined up in the correct position the right way early. He calls the plays. He checks for audibles. He realizes what's going on for real, huh? Heavy, Holmes, period, no cap. He's a real field general on the defensive side of the ball. So whoever's in that position, the team has to believe in them, right? Boom. The defense has to believe in them, right? Boom. To really understand what's going on, overstand in their leadership. You understand? Period. So Caleb Woodson just might be the guy for the job. You know, just what it is. We know what it is. We know what it ain't. Let's get it. We go. Woodson, by all accounts, looks to be the leader of the inside linebacker unit throughout this spring. He's only been in the program a couple of months, but the senior transfer from Virginia Tech has been a captain type presence, according to DeBoer. And DeBoer, Walmack players, they really speak highly of him for sure. So that's a great sign. That's a great sign for him as well. But Woodson came in right away saying, understanding, showing he wasn't playing no motherfucking games. He was there for business, there to win, period. He's there to make it to the next level and make it to the next step, period. You know what I mean? Early, but he's also there to win and be a great team player. Here we go. Behind Woodson, the competition seems much more open. DeBoer mentioned Metz and Reese, two players who have spent their entire careers to this point in Tuscaloosa, but haven't seen extensive playing time thus far. Reese is entering his redshirt sophomore season after playing in all 15 games last year, mostly on special teams. Metz is a rising sophomore after appearing in all 15 contests during his freshman year, also primarily on special teams. DeBoer acknowledged that the responsibility of the green dot isn't for everyone. Big facts, no cap. And that it can be a challenge to find the right players to give it to. Someone talking to us here had a conversation when we first instituted the rule, DeBoer said. It was with an NFL defensive coordinator, and I remember him telling me that one of his best players, an all-pro who you think has no problem, it just when he got that noise in his head, it was just something that slowed him up. So basically saying all pro player, Holmes, heavy. You know, when he had the green dot, it put him in a tough situation. Why? He couldn't handle it mentally for some reason. Whether it was the pressure of calling plays, running the huddle, leading the defense, whatever the case may be. You know, he performed better when he didn't have the green dot. So everybody can't handle the damn green dot for sure. You understand? Yeah. It didn't confuse him or anything, but it was just something where he wasn't at his best. So you do have to mix it up and see if there's anything where it does cause the guy problems. But I guess we're not to that point where there are so many guys rotating into where we're locked in on one guy or two guys, kind of letting it be spread across the board. And like I say, bro, boom, this is a real competition and real battle. Period, no cap, for sure. Heavy. You understand? No doubt. Here we go. Oh yeah. That boy, hey, that boy Devin Tompkins, man, really, he might be the real deal. He might be the real deal, Holmes, for sure. No doubt. For real, though. And he's putting that work in as well, too, for sure, man. I love it. I'm here for it. Alabama defensive lineman Devin Tompkins spent every weekday of his final spring break in Gwinnett County, Georgia, training with pass rush specialist Des Walker. See, he's taking this serious for real, putting that work in for real. That's what it's about for real round yonder, man. No cap. He didn't go party spring break. He wasn't worried about this, worried about that for no damn spring break. What he did, what he do, what he say, he put that work in, dog. Roll Tide. Here we go. Monday through Friday, Walker threw a lot at the new Crimson Tide linemen, from watching film of John Randall and Aaron Donald to teaching him to spin as a primary or counter pass rush move to defending RPOs. But the primary focus of the training was on vision, get off, hands and hips. Technique, baby, development, baby, for real. Here we go. There were a lot of new perspectives I gave him as far as being a primary rusher on the team, talking about having your hands ready, beating jump sets, using your rip, what's going to separate you. Devon, in this NFL draft, the violence. But we got to strike blocks and get off blocks as well. Here we go. Walker is no stranger to working with Alabama's defensive linemen and edge rushers, as he has previously trained Ryan Anderson, Anthony Jennings, Brian Young, and LT Overton. Here we go. The big difference in a player like Tompkins is he could play at multiple spots along the defensive line. This spring, he has practiced inside and outside as a defensive tackle and a bandit. The Atlanta-based specialist believes Tompkins will be either a 5 or 3 technique in the NFL. Some people, you might get some heat because, oh, you're a tweener. We don't know where you can fit in, but not for Devin, Walker said. I think his tweenerness, and I explained what he said. I think his tweenerness, and I explained to him, that's what's going to get you on top of the draft because you can do both. But you're athletic enough to do both. Here we go. Usually some guys, they'll be a 3 tech because they're not quick enough to be a 5 tech, but they're strong enough to be. But with him, he has the quickness and the speed where he's a mismatch on both. The ability to line Tompkins up at different spots should excite the Alabama coaching staff. Here we go. I'm confident that Devin can go into a position and say, hey, this is where you're going to play for the season to dominate, Walker said. But what would truly make him shine even brighter is just let him be him. Be that guy. Be that guy that, hey, this week we're going to put you away from the side, or this week, hey, we're going to have you standing up. Real versatile player, bro. Very important for real. Here we go. Tompkins was one of the bigger transfer portal additions that Alabama brought in this offseason and is expected to make an immediate impact, which he is already doing. Walker was impressed by his game. He's explosive, Walker said. When I say explosive, some people talk about a quick first step. I just see his explosiveness in his first 2 steps. That was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw him and was working with him, was the explosiveness of his get off. And he's pretty heavy-handed. Hey, very important, getting off the ball, getting on the ball, getting to the quarterback and all that for sure. Here we go. Here we go, man. The Crimson Tide has to replace all 3 defensive line starters from last year's team. A player like Tompkins, who has moved around for Alabama this spring, step into multiple roles and be a key piece to the defensive puzzle in 2026. Here we go. After spending spring break with him, Walker believes the Tracy, California native brings a lot of potential and crazy upside to Tuscaloosa. He's hungry for it. I can say that for sure, Walker said. I see a lot of upside between being able to be a true 3 tech and then being able to be an edge because he has that athleticism for it. I think the sky's the limit for Devin. He's a great acquisition for Bama football. Here we go, roll tide. I can see Devin's going to be a mixture of both being able to use power and skill moves. I personally don't like to say finesse because sometimes finesse gets confused with guys being soft, but there's nothing soft about Devin. I think he's going to be able to show a lot of his power, his skills, his get off, and he's going to cause some havoc, man. I hope so. I really hope so. Roll Tide. I think he's going to be one of the next great Bama guys to get drafted high and everything, and he's going to fit the tradition for sure. Oh, yeah, bro. Matter of fact, roll tide. Here we go. My dog Dale in the building, my Levy dog Dale in the building. What up, Holmes? Early. He say, ain't nothing rolling but the tide. Big facts, no cap. You hear me? Roll tide. Let's get it, man. For sure. For sure out the door. There it is, dog. And that's pretty much it. You know, scrimmage 2, spring ball is upon us. Let me know, man. Once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that bell. Support the channel, right? Support the grind. Boom. You know, spring football is here. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about scrimmage number 2? Let me know, bro. You know what it is? Big SKOL here. Roll Tide, full of pride, win, lose, or draw, but we come to win. You hear? Down at the levee. We going fishing at the levee. Roll Tide. Believe that. Here we come.